President Trump has signed an executive order directing federal officials to pay TSA workers amidst this shutdown. The money would come from the president's big tax cut bill, and DHS says employees could be paid as early as Monday. That would include back pay. Earlier today, House Republicans rejected the Senate bill that was to fund DHS, leaving out money for ICE and Border Patrol, which Democrats have called for. The House will hold another session tonight as they work on an alternative measure. Many senators, though, have already left Washington for a 2-week Easter recess. You decide. Arizona, the 2026 midterm elections fast approaching. And as has been the case in recent elections, Arizona will likely play a pivotal role in the national picture.
Multiple seats currently labeled as toss-ups by the Cook Political Report. So that means that our many independents, we have about 1.4 million, will be playing an important role. We're a unique state, to say the least. Fox's Amalia Roy is joining us live from Scottsdale with more. Amalia.
Good evening. Yes, so a recent Gallup survey shows that this is a trend across the United States. We're seeing more and more voters identifying as independent. And what one political scientist here told me is that means that they're not voting along party lines or based on ideology, but which candidate they believe will make their lives better. And that means talking about the economy. A brand new Fox News poll shows that the direction that people are seeing the country going, they're saying that 2/3 of registered voters are unhappy with the direction of the country. That number's been rising since 2025. And it also shows that only about a quarter of voters approve of how President Donald Trump's handling inflation, and about a third approve of how he's doing with the economy.
It's the same argument Biden was making, is that, if we look at the stock market, we look at inflation, it's low, stock market's doing good. But for people, it's the same issue now with Trump. It's not the felt economy, right? People, when they go to the store, right, prices are higher. Their health care premiums are higher. Their energy costs are higher. And now, because of the war, gas prices are higher.
I spoke with voters around one of the competitive House districts here in Scottsdale, and a lot of them talked about President Trump's handling of the Middle East conflict and its impact on the economy.
You cannot expect, with the war and everything that's going on, that gas prices will go down. It's very reasonable, I think. It will take time, but everything will go back to normal. So just stick with what he's doing, keep doing his job, everything will be fine.
He's got us in this war. The gas prices are sky high. People used to complain about eggs when Biden was was our president, and it's a joke, $3.99, $4.99 compared to, $5 a gallon. It's just outrageous.
Political scientists say it is typical that during the midterms that the president's party does lose some House seats. We saw this during an off year in 2025 when Democrats won the governor races in New Jersey and Virginia. But even though some polls are showing waning support for Republicans, that support's not going to the Democrats. The same Fox News poll shows that there are actually 2/3 of voters that believe all of Washington is out of touch. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Amalia Roy, Fox 10 News.